Ministries.org. We would love to have you here at 1435 Ball Avenue, East St. Louis, Illinois, 62205. Hebrew 10 and 25 says, "Let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another, especially now that the day of his return is drawing near." If the ministry has been a blessing to you and you want to be a blessing to the ministry, you can donate through Givelify. Just download the free app on your smartphone, then put in Gethsemane Church. You will see the pastor and elect lady's picture. Also, while you're on live stream, you can hit the donate button under the pastor's picture and donate through secure PayPal. God bless.
God bless you. At this time, we're going to call for the youth to come sing at this time.
Amen.
Why don't you clap your hands for them? This is the generation that will be here after you. Train them up as they should go, and when they get older, they will not depart. still works. Now, I know what happened last week. We kept talking about that blood.
He's worthy. I will bless the Lord at all have his way. We give honor to Christ who is dead for our life. And we thank God. Amen. For our founder, come on, give God a great praise for our founder, for his wife, Mother Mosley, First Lady. We encounter mercies for the elders and ministers who are traveling abroad, for our musicians. Come on, give them a great hand. Amen. Thank God, amen. Brother Washington, amen, on the keys, amen. Back with us. Amen. And to all the elders and the ministers here, amen. And we give God all the glory and all the praise. Amen. We're going to when we thank God for the testimonies, the seen and unseen. Amen. The ones that I know, maybe the members don't know, but you know who I'm talking to. I thank God for the praise reports. Amen. Sister Linda, it's a blessing to see you back. Amen. Amen. Not this Linda, the one in the back there. Amen. We thank God. Amen. For seeing Deacon Roderick. Amen. As well. Amen. Just thank God for all the saints of God. Amen. 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 So we're going to move forward somewhat expeditiously. I do solicit your prayers on this afternoon. I thank God for, amen, last couple of days we're dealing with some type of head cold or something, but the blood still works. I ain't worried about that. Also, I want to solicit your prayers as well. Some of you who had enjoyed Prophet Kerry Get Rod, and you had heard that he had made a statement about me being overseer of this area, Faith Alive Ministries. And I always have said, I know I'm live streaming, that's okay, that I'm very cautious when I do. We part of High Ground Ministries, as well as part of Faith Alive, also support Jesus is the Only Way Ministry of Dr. Jeanette Taylor and others. Amen. But last night, there was a conference call. I was part of a conference call, and I was told and not asked, and I said, well, you got to ask, and I have to pray about that. But they want to, in 2019, at the conference in August 2019, they want to ordain me as a bishop. And I told them that I'm not in the titles. I've been preaching this all my life, almost 30 years now. And when God spoke to Abraham, he told him, "Gonna make your name great." He said nothing about no title. Amen. And God is not concerned about titles. I know titles in man and things that come about because, you know, there's titles and there's elders and different things in the Bible, and there's bishops in the Bible. But me personally, I have never been concerned about a title. Amen. Amen. I just thank God. I'm like David, say, Lord, whatever you do, you can take everything away from me, just don't take your anointing from me. Amen. So at the conference, there was other people from over the United States, this network, Get Right Network, and so I began to say this to them. I say, well, to be a bishop, I say not just over area, and to be a bishop, I have to oversee churches, and that's what I would consider it for I would become a bishop. They say, well, this is the whole point. Well, we calling you this conference call because we want you to be the bishop over the church that we have in North Carolina as well as in Ohio. And then I said, well, then that calls for a lot of traveling. You know, amen. I say, but I'll pray about it and I get back with you at a later date. Right now I'm concerned about ending this year and going into 2019. That's months off. So just pray, because I always have to make sure that this is what God is saying and not man. Amen? Amen. Hallelujah. So just pray, you know, for your pastor about that. And that would come to pass. These elders and ministers, they're going to have to go to work. I'm not going to be doing all that traveling. Amen. Hallelujah. Missionary student. Amen. So we thank God even for the opportunity, amen, that's been presented. Hallelujah. Come on, give God a great big hand of praise. But, amen. I get phone calls all the time. And really, since I had the triple stroke last year, I really have not taken a lot of preaching assignments. And I had a preacher, this is not the first time this happened, a pastor called me a few weeks ago saying, let me try to get you to come and speak for me. And my secretary said that you turn it down. Why is that? I said, well, I'm not looking for no place to preach. I got a place to preach. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I love my church. I love my members. Amen. I love what God has placed me. Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. Come on, you got a great big hand today. We'll be coming out of the book of Genesis. Amen. I think that is 12:34. We'll be coming out of the book of Genesis, chapter number 13, verse 1 through 10. And we're going to be reading a few scriptures. Amen. We don't plan on being before you long. We thank God for what he's doing in this place, I tell you. Hallelujah. I tell you what, I need y'all to do this for me. Please, please, please give our young people a great big round of applause. When I say they're the future church, boy, they showing it too. Amen. Hallelujah. I thank God for what he's doing in their lives. Amen. And in the ministry, we thank God for them. Amen. I'm just smiling because I'm smiling because I was hearing that the blood still working, and I'm hearing the different voices, and I'm hearing them coming through it. I'm trying to look around. Who's doing that? Amen. I tell you, it's a blessing. Amen. It's a blessing. Amen. Genesis chapter 13, verse 1 through 10. And we thank God for all of those that are watching by way of live stream.
And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife, and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold.
Rich.
And he went on his journeys from the south, even to Bethel, unto the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Hai, unto the place of the altar, which he had made there at the first. And there Abram came, called on the name of the Lord. And Lot also, which went with Abram, had flocks and herds and tents, and the land was not able to bear them.
Well, he must really love his nephew Lot. Amen. Because when he was telling him to get away from his, his kingdom, God had, moved Abraham. But you notice throughout in the book of Genesis here, especially before chapter 12, you get in 13, you go further all the way up into 18, you find that where he just, he loved Lot. He loved his nephew. Keep going.
And the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together, for their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together.
They had so much stuff. We'll get into that. They had so much stuff that the cattle, there wasn't enough room for all the cattle to graze. They had so much. See, back in those days, when cattle was money. Amen. So you was looked upon if you had so many cattle, then that's how you would say, well, that's a rich man right there. Cause look at all the herds that he got.
Make it plain.
Amen. Amen. So they had so many herds that the cows got to graze, they got to eat, and they just, hey, we got to do something here. Go ahead.
And there was a strife between the herdmen of Abram's cattle and the herdmen of Lot's cattle. And the Canaanites.
So it wasn't a strife between Lot and Abraham. It was the one that was taking care of the cattle.
Amen.
Go ahead.
And the Canaanite and the Perizzite dwelt in the land. And Abram said unto Lot, let there be no strife, I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my husband and thy husband. For we be brethren. Is not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, then I will go to the right. Or if thou depart to the right hand, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted up his eyes and beheld all the plain of Jordan, that it was well watered.
Well watered.
Before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, even as the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt, as thou comest unto Zoar.
Amen. You may be seated in the presence of the Lord. Amen. He said, so Abraham told him, you take the left or the right. Whichever one you want, I'm gonna be fine with. But we got to separate. We got too many cattle. So what did Lot do? He looked toward a place, amen, toward Sodom, and he said, boy, it's well watered, amen, everything's looking green, and tell somebody everything that looks good and not good. Amen. We're going to move somewhat expeditiously. Our topic on this afternoon is responsibility. There's somebody, responsibility. Amen, amen. Can I just talk to you just for a few minutes? So we in 13, but if we go back to chapter number 12, dealing with Abraham and his wife, Sarah. Y'all know the story. And actually, when we talk about Sarah, when Abraham and Sarah found themselves in Egypt, God had already promised Abraham that he was going to bless him.
All right.
Many nations are going to be blessed.
Amen.
And it's something that when God says he's going to bless you, it doesn't mean that you're not going to have no obstacles, because there is an enemy that is going to try to
make it
different than what God has said. Yeah. Amen. See, so God never told Abraham to leave the place where he was at. He told him to leave his carrier ticket and go to a place, and he went to the place, and then when he got to that place, he come and found out after for a little while, things got kind of tough. Food got kind of scarce. So he decides to go down to Egypt. God never told him to go there. So I'm going to teach for a few minutes. So what happens is that things get tough doesn't mean run. Amen. It doesn't mean run. Come on, somebody. Amen. All of us go through that. Things get tough. That don't mean run. You know, let me go find something else. God hasn't told you to do that. Amen. See, so he takes upon his own, and if y'all could, please try to stop all the walking that's going on out there. So what happens is that things get tough. When things get tough, it's not no time to run. Guess what? Because it just may be just as tough or tougher than what you're trying to go. So anyway, you know the story. Let me move on. So now in 12, so he goes on and down into Egypt, where it's more plentiful, because where he's at, where God told him to sit still, he gonna take his wife and go there. On his way going there, he looks at evidently, we know the story, and I ain't gonna try to elaborate on that and make any humor, but evidently, Sister Sarah must have been looking pretty good, because Abraham thought to himself, now when I go there, these men here gonna see that my wife looks pretty good, then they might kill me to take her into the king and make her as one of his harems. So now this thing comes from God, so he says unto himself, so when I get there, I'm gonna lie. Actually, it was a half lie. But how do you know there's not a half lie or a gray area, so forth and so forth? Because what happens is when he goes to the king, he tells him that Sarah is his sister. Research would tell you that Sarah technically was his half-sister, but she also was his wife. So he didn't tell him that she was his wife. He just said, it's my sister. Being deceitful because he was afraid for his own life that they may kill him. Research will let you know that she did become part of the harem of the king. But now let me tell you the research, but she didn't lay with the king because king had all kinds of harem, and it's what they call it. They say it's a breaking period for you to be a harem for a while before you even get to the king. So what happened was all hell broke out in the king's palace.
All right.
and God had to let the king know, look at here, what you're thinking about doing to Sarah, it's going to cost you your life. So he goes and he tells Abraham, what have you done to me? You done lied to me and told me, man, this was your sister. Man, I was just getting ready to mess up. See, you can't let the devil put so much pressure on you or get so afraid. Oh my God. For God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but love and a sound mind. He said, man, what are you trying to almost done to me? He said, look at her. That's something, boy, when God speaks to you. Because he said, look at her, man, you need to get your wife and get up out of here. You and your nephew, and look at here, and I'm going to make sure you don't come back, because where you come from, evidently you didn't have things that got kind of scarce. I'm going to give you cattle and everything. this brings us up to this point in 13. So now him and Lot got so much cattle, they rich now. So now they can't dwell in the same place. So Lot, whatever you want, look to the left, look to the right. Whatever you want, it's yours. So he looked and he saw it. Oh, over there at Sodom, it's well watered and everything is green. Oh, this is nice right here. So what do Lot do? He takes that particular area. As I said, everything that looks good, it's not always
all right.
Good. Tell somebody everything that looks good, it's not always good. Look what happens. There's a story in the Bible that talks about 5 kings that came together. These 5 kings that came together, and they went against 4 other kings trying to take over their land. Where Lot was staying at, in the plains of Sodom, that these 5 kings overtook the other kings where he was staying. And Lot was captured. Everything that looked good is not always good. And he was captured. Word came back to Abraham. I told you he loved his nephew. Word came back to Abraham and said, look here, your nephew and his family been captured. The Bible says that Abraham took 318 men and said, I'm going to get my nephew. Oh, he loved his nephew. That's a blessing. I hope you love your nephew like that. I had to throw that in. I see my uncle back there. Abraham loved his nephew Lot. The Bible says that Abraham, he went and he captured his nephew back. Not only did he get his nephew back, he beat down those kings and took everything that they had taken from the plains of Sodom and everything that Lot had, and plus some more. They took it back. Oh, Abraham, you're a bad boy. So look what happens. Look what Abraham, this is a commercial break. This is not HBO. So look what Abraham does. He takes back all the spoils, and plus he already is rich himself. The Bible says he took it to Salem, the king of Salem, which is Melchizedek. He went to Melchizedek and he told the king, he said, look here, I got all this stuff. I got to give you 10% of that so you can bless me. It's too quiet. Oh, brother, watch it. You may have to get back on the organ, and somebody might have to play some tunes. I'm just going to be here for a second. I'm just telling the story. I didn't write this. So he took 10% to Melchizedek. Melchizedek is before the law and the 10 Commandments. So look here, the Bible tells, I'm in 14 now, we just going right along. Tell somebody he's going right along, teach pastor, teach. So he took 10% and gave it to the king of Salem, Melchizedek. And Melchizedek blessed Abraham there. Hallelujah. Abraham continued to be blessed because God said that the blessings was going to be upon you. Now he's got substance. Now he gives 10% of his substance. And now the king, the prophet, has told him, yeah, you blessed. You blessed because you have given back from the substance that God has given you. Tell somebody commercial break is over. Commercial break is over. Oh, y'all quiet on me. That's all right. Let me take my coat off. I'll preach to myself. Hallelujah. Because I had to go to the king myself and give 10%. Hallelujah. So now we up here now in chapter number 15. Somebody say 15. Hallelujah. That God has promised. He promised Abraham and Sarah in 15 that they was going to have a son, even in their old age. How many know that you got to wait on the Lord? For those that wait upon the Lord, oh my God, he shall renew their strength. He told you you're going to have a son. Oh my God, from your loins, you're going to have a son. That's just like a saint. We get impatient. God, you take it too long. Oh my God, would you please hurry up? You promised me this a long time no go. So the Bible says that Sarah took her maid Hagar and said, "Go, Abraham, and lie with her, because I really don't believe what God is talking about will come to pass." You got to wait upon the Lord. I tell you again, you got to wait. Y'all know this story. He ended up having a son by Sarah's handmaid and Hagar, and they named him Ishmael. But God had to come and check them. What I said to you is going to come to pass. The Bible says that Abraham and Sarah even laughed at it, and God had to check them. Hallelujah. You laughing at me? I'm paraphrasing. You laughing at me? Hallelujah. You're going to have a child in your old age. Y'all know the story. And she ended up having Isaac. Come on, somebody. God is not a man that he should lie. Neither is he the son of man that he shall repent. If God said it, it shall come to pass. I'm getting ready to close already. Now we over in chapter number 17. Moving over into 18. Where am I reading at? Take me to Genesis 18, verse 23 and 25. It brings us to the point. Now, Abraham, they got Lot back. He made mockery of God about the promise he told him about the son. He's got his son now. Now he's got two sons. Now, Lot is back in the plains of Sodom. Hallelujah. Most people, when they talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, they always talk about the homosexuality there. It was a lot more going on just than homosexuality. Come on, give God a great big hand praise. Genesis chapter 18, verse 23 and 25 brings us to our focus scripture about responsibility. Read.
And Abraham drew near and said, "Wilt thou also destroy the righteousness of the wicked?"
And Abraham drew near to the presence of God and said, "Wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked?" See right there. So now what Abraham is saying to God, he's holding God responsible, because bringing you into 18 into the story that God has told him that I'm getting ready to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah because of all of their wickedness.
All right. Amen.
And Abraham saying that you supposed to be a God. Look at him. He holding God responsible. You're supposed to be a just God. And you're going to destroy the righteous with the wicked? Look here. So look at Abraham. That's bold. That he's actually questioning the integrity of God. No, don't look at me crazy, because you do the same thing. When things don't go your way, you be wondering, where is God? You get a bad doctor report and you wonder, where is God? He left you for another younger woman and you wonder, where is God? You stuck with all the children, you wonder, where is God? God, where are you now? Oh my God, we blame God for stuff that God didn't have nothing to do with. Go ahead, read the next verse.
Peradventure there be 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare for the place of 50 righteous there are therein?
And what a question mark. If there be 50 righteous within the city, wilt thou also destroy and spare not this place for 50? They're righteous. Supposed to be a righteous God. He's holding God responsible. Hallelujah. Go ahead.
That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, and that the righteous should be as the wicked.
God, do you realize the conversation that he's having with God? He said, that be far from thee to do after this manner. In other words, that you're supposed to be, if you read between these lines, where he said, you're supposed to be a righteous God.
All right. Make it plain.
You're supposed to be a righteous God. This should be far from you. Huh? Because if Abraham didn't know nothing else, he know that his nephew was there.
All right. Yes.
And you telling me you're going to
Shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
Oh my God. It says, shall not the judge of all the earth do right? In other words, you the judge. You created the earth. You the judge over the whole earth. If you don't do right, we done. That's what Abraham is saying to him. Shall the judge over the whole earth do what's right? Can you imagine having that type of conversation? Can you imagine having that type of conversation? You may be seated. We in 18. He's holding God responsible. Take me to Ezekiel. This is the last one. Take me to Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49 through 50. I just need to make another commercial break because Abraham is holding God responsible for his actions. God, if we're going to hold him responsible, what about our responsibility? I told you that Sodom and Gomorrah was not going to be destroyed simply because of homosexuality. Take me to Ezekiel. Come on, follow with me. Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 49 and verse number 50. You got it, Sister Annie, just go ahead and read. Here we go.
Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom.
Look, in other words, behold, this was the iniquity. This was the sin of thy sister Sodom. Pride. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Say, so this was the sin, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. And he said that about homosexuality. He said pride. Next.
Fullness of bread.
Fullness of bread is going to Texas Roadhouse and eating 3 baskets of rolls. Go ahead.
And the fullness of idleness was in her.
Oh, I'm sorry if I touched somebody's feet. I'm sorry if I stepped on your toes. Amen. Those rolls in Texas Roadhouse, they will make you sin. Go ahead.
And the abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters.
Now look here, and it's saying the abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Now,
neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy.
And neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. I thank God for blessed hand outreach. Amen. You've been told all these years because of homosexuality. This is the reason why God destroyed. So, yeah, that was part of it. It was another part of it too. The acceptance of it as well. Come on, somebody. But it was more than that. It was pride. It was greediness. Come on, somebody. That's why it's blessed to be humble. Hallelujah. Come on, somebody. It's blessed to be a humble servant. You may be seated, my sister. Now let's go back. Now look at here. Where's Abraham? He's holding God responsible for destroying the city. His nephew is there. What are you talking about? I know I told you to sit down. I got to read one more. I'm going too fast. Genesis chapter 19. Tell somebody we didn't move on up to 19 now. In verse number 17. Genesis 19 in verse number 17. And he's telling him, he said, look at here, I'm going to hold you responsible. You are the God who created the earth. You're supposed to be the righteous God. If you're not righteous, then who can we go to? There's nobody we can go to. I told you time after time. It's one thing, oh my God, to be fighting with the devil. Oh my God, because you got the Lord to help you. But it's another thing when you fight against God. Because when you fight against God, then who's going to help you? Hallelujah. God knows what he's doing in his sovereign power. He knows exactly what's going on in your life. Oh, Jesus, sometimes things happen to us, but God is preparing us for another level. Hallelujah. You got to go through something before you can tell somebody something. Hallelujah. Oh, Holy Ghost, help me with this little phrase that's running in my spirit. Hallelujah. Talking about friends. If you can't change your friends, then change your friends. Hallelujah. I'm going to say that one again. If you can't change your friends, then change your friends. Hallelujah. So look at here. His nephew nephew was there. He didn't have this conversation. Y'all know the story. He didn't went from 50, he went all the way down to 10. God is saying, I know what I'm doing. I know what I was doing when I created you, Abraham. I already know if I destroy this city, no one in there is righteous. God already knew he was going to tell Abraham to tell your nephew and his family to get out. Tell somebody it's time to get out. It's time to get out of my body. It's time to live for him. It's time to change. My friends, go ahead.
And it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, escape for thy life.
Look here. And it came to pass when they had brought him forth abroad that he said, what?
Escape for thy life.
Escape for thy life. Next.
Look not behind.
What?
thee.
Don't look
Behind thee.
behind thee.
Neither stay thou in all the plain.
Neither stay thou in all the plain.
Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. Now y'all know the story. Look at here. He told Lot, you got to get him out of there. I done already had a talk with God. It's a matter of fact, I held him responsible. Hallelujah. And he told me I'm still going to destroy that city because of the wickedness. How many know that he on his way back? Hallelujah. Look at the rapture in 1 Thessalonians. Look at the rapture for the dead in Christ. The dead in Christ shall rise first. And those believers, us that are alive and remaining, shall be caught up to meet him in the air. And all hell and destruction is going to come down on the wicked. God is not going to leave you to be destroyed with the wicked. Tell somebody I'm not going to be destroyed. If the Lord continue to tarry, I'm going to be with him. If the rapture take place, I'm still going to be with him. I feel like preaching now. Hallelujah. The Bible says that Abraham, he told Lot, tell your wife, get your daughters and get out, because I had a talk with God. God is getting ready to destroy the wicked of this city. It's time to get out. He told Lot, tell your wife and tell your daughters, don't look back. Y'all know the story. Oh, Jesus. That old Lot's wife, she had to look back. She had to look back and see what she thought she was missing. God told me to tell you, you gotta stop looking back. Oh, Abraham, he hold God more responsible for not to destroy the city with Lot and his family, but he gave instruction. It was Lot and his wife and his daughter's responsibility not to look back. That's not God's fault that Lot's wife didn't make it. Oh my God, she had a responsibility not to look back. She had a responsibility to be obedient to what her husband said, but she had to look back to be nosy. Tell somebody it ain't good to be nosy. Once God has brought you said not to destroy Sodom with my family in that city. But look here, God gave instructions. What was God doing? God was telling Abraham, for Abraham to tell Lot, you got a responsibility as well. Tell somebody, responsibility. Oh yes, it's okay to hold God responsible. I do it all the time. I say, Lord, you said that you was wounded for my transgression. You was bruised for my iniquity. And the chastisement of my peace was upon you. And with your stripes, you said that I'm healed. And God said, yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. But God told me, he said, Moses, you holding me responsible, but I'm holding you responsible as well. Yes, my word is true, but you are responsible for having the faith of a grain of a mustard seed. I know I told you, by my stripes you are healed, but your responsibility is to have the faith to believe. If I said it shall come to pass. God, I feel appreciative. God told me to tell you, go ahead and hold him responsible. Tell him, say, God, you said you would never leave me, neither you forsake me. And God said, I'm going to hold you responsible. I didn't leave you, but you left me. You stopped praying. You stopped fasting. And you trying to say you're going to hold me responsible for leaving you. God told me to tell you, I ain't never left you. You left me. It's not my responsibility for you to pray. It's not my responsibility for you to fast. Tell somebody, hold him responsible. You can hold God responsible. And if you do, he's going to hold you responsible. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. You said in your word that you will open up the windows of heaven and pour me out a blessing. I won't be able to receive it. Oh, Lord, where is my blessing? Where is the windows? And God said, Moses, have you been faithful in your tithes? I got to hold you responsible. Once you do what you're supposed to do, then my word will come to pass. Oh God, you told me the devil can't get me. Oh God, he's attacking me. But your word, it says, no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. And God, he spoke to me. He said, I know that the enemy tried to kill you, but I didn't tell you that you was going to die. I didn't tell you that the weapon would not be formed against you. But do you realize, Moses, I am the one who made Don't tell my poor people. I trust him. I trust him. I trust that I'm coming out. I trust that I'm healed. I'm holding them responsible while he holds me responsible. I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. Be in my mouth. Be in my mouth. If you trust him, oh my God, open up your mouth. Open up your mouth. Say Jesus. 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 I'm going to tell you what does praise do. Praise is our responsibility to praise. It's not God's responsibility to make us praise for all the good things he has done. It's our responsibility. God told me to tell you, you praise me when I give you something, and then you sit back and you wait for the next prize, for the next present, and then you want to stand as though it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to keep on giving you stuff, and then I have to wait until you give me glory. God told me to tell you, you owe me. You owe me. You owe me. You owe me a praise from last year. You owe me a praise from 2 years ago. Oh my God. Stop waiting for the gift, for you already got the gift. But you got a selected praise. God told me to tell you, the time is now. It's your responsibility to get in a realm that's getting ready to take you into 2019. God told me to tell you it's time to praise him like you've never done in your life. Get ready. Get ready. It's your responsibility. And I tell you, if you open up your mouth and act crazy in the Holy Ghost, as though God's word is true, I dare you to open up your mouth and like you trust him. I dare you to open up your mouth like you got more than a grain of faith. I dare you to open up your mouth and praise him while you in your trouble. I dare you to open up your mouth and let God know I'm holding you responsible to save my son. I'm holding you responsible to save my daughter, my granddaughter, my grandson. That I can't do it. It's got to come from you, God. You are the creator of the earth. And God told me to tell you, go ahead and hold me responsible for your family, for your children, for your grandchildren. But God told me to tell you, if you want to hold me responsible for everything, oh my God, I feel the Holy Ghost, for everything that you need, God told me to tell you, if you're going to hold me responsible, then I'm going to hold you responsible like I did Abraham. So you may not have the miracle right now, but if you can praise me, like you already got it, like you already got it, like it's already done, open up your mouth. I'm holding you responsible. I'm holding you responsible. God told me to tell you, I got what you need. Open up your mouth. I got what you want. Open up your mouth. Responsibility belongs to you. It's your praise. It's your worship. It's your responsibility. You got nobody to blame. You got nobody to blame. It's your responsibility. So what they made you mad? So what they disappointed you? So what they walked out on you? It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to open up your mouth and say, Lord, I thank you. Despite of, I still praise your name. It's your responsibility. It ain't God's. He know what he doing. He know what he doing. He's sovereign in his implications. He's infinite in his wisdom. He's all powerful, all knowing. It's your responsibility. David understood it. He understood it. That's why he wrote, I will bless the Lord at all times. Whatever you're going through right now, I dare you to open up your mouth. I will bless the Lord. I will bless the Lord. See, you're looking at what you got to deal with when you leave here. You're looking at what you got to deal with tomorrow at work. You're looking at what you got to deal with your spouse when you get home. And God told me to tell you, it's your responsibility right now, while you in this service, while you under this anointing, to open up your mouth and give me glory. Because if you give me the sacrifice of praise, then I will be pleased. And if I please, if you can please me, then I will open up the windows for you. I will open it up for you. But it's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. It's your responsibility. the shadow of death. It's your responsibility not to fear no evil, because he's with you. He's with you. He's with you. Put your hand on your neighbor's shoulder, front or back, and tell them he's with you. He's with you. He's with you. It's your responsibility. Treasure. It's your responsibility to get past all the disappointments and open up your mouth. It's your responsibility. It ain't God's. And I tell you, if you open up your mouth, open up your mouth with the disappointment. God said, I got a responsibility and you got one. And when you do what you're supposed to do, I can't lie. He said, you open up your mouth. I will fill your spirit with my glory. But you first got to open up your mouth. It's your responsibility to open up your mouth to get the gift. Then I will fill you with the gift. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. God is doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. He's doing a new thing. Hallelujah. Here it gets in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah. Bless her right now, Jesus. Bless her right now. Bless her family. Bless her children. Bless her, Lord, the child. We thank you. We thank you. We thank you. Hallelujah. Come on, put your hands together. The door of the church is now open. The doors of the church is now open. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Hallelujah, Lord. Come on, give God a great big hand praise. It's our responsibility. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus.